cuss on a daily basis?
Do you think it's appropriate to do so?
We think it's not acceptable to curse no matter the situation, place, or the word you use.
An example of a commonly used cuss word is fuck.
Some situations of the usage may include
Difficulty?
Cheers and joy.
I don't understand this.
Alright.
Fuck it. I don't understand this. Whatever. Aggression?
What the fuck is your fucking problem?
Oh, five!
I'm sorry.
Don't worry, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Dismissal.
2, 3.
Oh fuck! Fuck you! Are you okay? Sugar honey iced tea!
Have you ever used the word fuck before?
I have used the word, but I haven't said it like towards another person because I don't know, I think that's kind of offensive. I say it sometimes like when I'm really frustrated doing my homework and it just slips out.
When was the last time you used it, and what was going on during the time you used it?
I think it was like this week. I was doing math or something, and it was calculus AP, so I got really frustrated, and then it just, yeah.
What is your opinion on the word fuck?
I think, well, personally, I think it can be very offensive. Like if it's directed towards another person, if you like say, you know, F you or whatever, it's like, oh, you know, wow. It can be used multiple ways. But I think it's offensive unless like maybe you like incorporate it like in a joke or something that it's not that mean to someone else.
How do you feel when you hear the word?
It also depends. I think most of all it's kind of disturbing, like a bit, like if it's, you know, used in a mean way. I don't usually tell people like to not say something because I'm not gonna, you know, tell them how to behave or whatever. I think that if they say it, well, then that's, you know, their problem or whatever. But I would usually won't tell the person about that word, but it can be kind of disturbing sometimes.
I feel offended, and I don't really like the word when it's used to me. And I know like I shouldn't use it, but you have to do what you have to do. So.
Question number 3. What do you think the F word originally means?
I guess in a sexual way.
Where do you think it came from?
I honestly don't know. I don't know. Do you guys know?
No. Have you ever used the word fuck before?
Yeah, I've used it before.
When was the last time you used it?
Yesterday.
What was the situation when you had said it?
Just really angry.
In your opinion, what's your opinion on the F word?
What's your opinion on the fuck word?
What's your opinion on the word fuck?
I try not to use it. A lot of times people will use it pretty excessively, and I don't know. Usually when I swear, it's because I'm really angry. So that if someone hears me say it, then it's probably because I'm really angry. But I try to avoid saying it if I can.
How do you feel when it's being directed to you or someone else?
I guess it depends on the intent. Because someone could just be like, hey, you know, that effing thing. But if they say it to like, F you to me, I try not to get too angry about it because it's mostly just a word. But it's usually used with the intent to, you know, I don't know, just to express anger. So if someone's saying F you to me, then I can usually assume that they're probably pretty mad at me. And I usually just think about it in that context.
What do you think the F word originally means?
I've heard various things. I'm not really sure which one's true though.
Where do you think it came from?
Where do I think it came from?
Yeah.
Same thing with that. I've heard various stories, but I've never actually verified if any of them are true.
If you ever heard someone say the word fuck, what would you do about it?
If they're in my class, I tell them not to swear in class. It's not an appropriate environment. If they're out on the street, what can I say to them? Really? I don't really have any power over them. Just let it slide. If it's directed towards me, then I usually try to figure out, like what's the problem? Did I do something?
So overall, do you think the F word should be used?
Probably not in normal conversation. I try not to use it in normal conversation. It's usually like just extreme frustration. But I usually try to use some other words besides that because a lot of times it's not very specific. If you say F this or F that, it's usually a lot better to articulate what's bothering you.
Have you ever used the word fuck?
Yes.
When was the last time you used it?
Today.
What was the situation when you had said it?
During practice.
What is your opinion on the word fuck?
Well, I think it's okay to say it in like some occasions, like when it's not offending anybody. Yeah.
How do you feel when it's being directed to you or someone else?
Well, in that case, I think it's like actually offending and stuff. Like you're not supposed to say it.
What do you think the F word originally means?
I don't have an idea what it can mean.
Where do you think it came from?
I don't know that either.
If you ever heard someone curse at someone else or you, what would you do?
Well, like if it was towards me, I probably would be like say something back at them. So that wouldn't be correct. But or they said it to somebody else, I probably wouldn't do anything. Read that.
So have you ever used the word fuck before? When was the last time you used it? What was the situation when you had said it?
Well, I don't like using the F word that often, but when I have to, it's mostly the times when it's like I do something wrong, or when I'm with my friends. I've changed my language, and I use that word only in certain situations. It's not my common language usage or use of language that I use. It's not my style.
Yeah, well, me too. I don't like using, well, sometimes it slips in mind. Sometimes, like, we're so embedded, like, with this kind of language that we use, like, in our everyday lives. Like, we, like, use, like, that word, like, when you stub your toe, or, like, when your parents, like, or, like, when you're, like, your parents tell you something and you forgot, and you're like, oh, damn, and you say the word out of randomness, but like, the last time I used it was in reference to a certain physics teacher, and me feeling really stressed about, the upcoming semester in clothing. So I think it's a lot of, like, our society uses it a lot for frustration, but in, like, and, like, a lot of references to, like, sexual encounters, but, like, it's mostly frustration, like, kind of, like, as, like, an adjective to, like, describe how we're feeling, or to, like, emphasize, like, a negative feeling that we're feeling even more.
Now that you know the historical meaning of the F word, wouldn't you want to face this vernacular language? We have standards to set and a reputation to keep intact. We have the privilege of freedom of speech, with the exception of knowing the historical meaning of the word you are saying. Never curse.